morning. Today, this is the last part of this lesson. I hope that you studied all what we finished before. Alhamdulillah, to can start tomorrow in the new lesson. And today, please solve the homework of the lesson review of this lesson. Okay, let's start. We will talk about why the elements react with each other, or why an atom tend to form bonds with other atom, with another type of atom. Didn't we say that the chemical reactions take place when a chemical bond form or break down? يعني in any chemical reaction, how the chemical reaction takes place? When atoms from different elements combine with each other. Combine with each other, it means make chemical bonds. طيب, why? What make an atom tend to make a chemical bond with other atom? And why with a specific atom? Why without with any atom? We will see now why. Actually, there is a rule that controls that. This rule is called the 8 rule or the octet rule. They didn't write about it, and they mention it, but they didn't write that this is a rule or octet rule or the 8 rule. It's known mostly the 8 rule. What is the meaning of 8 rule? It means that all the atoms want to have 8 electrons on their outermost energy level. So the octet rule here says that elements want either 8 or 0. يعني if they can complete the outermost energy level to 8, they want to complete it to 8. If they have a few electrons, it's better to get rid from of these electrons. Okay? In other words here, atoms that have fewer than 8 valence electrons, because we call the electrons on the outermost energy level valence electrons. All atoms that have fewer than 8 valence electrons, except for sure for helium and hydrogen, these are exception. Okay, because they are less than 8 in the first energy level that can have up to 2 only. Okay, don't have a full outermost energy level. All the atoms, look at the periodic table. Here is the periodic table. For sure, the first period, this is exception. We said this is hydrogen and helium. 1 electron in the first energy level and 2 electrons in helium in the first energy level. So this is exception. Okay? يعني here we can say number 2 instead of 8 for this period. The rest, all the rest of the periodic table, if you look at all the elements except in number 18, except number 18 here, that under helium, neon, argon, chromium, xylium, and except these, all of the elements have valence electrons less than 8. Okay, so they want to make them 8. They want to make them 8. Let's have an example to can understand. Let's see here from the periodic table. Let's pick an element and explain the 8 rule on it. Let's say that I will take the sodium. Okay, the sodium, it has, the atomic number is 11. That means it has 11 electrons. And it is in the first period, that means it has 1 valence electron. Let's draw it. Here is the nucleus, the first energy level, 2 electrons. The second has 8. So how many? 2 plus 8, 10. We have 1 left. This is the valence electron. 1. Only 1. Okay, but as what we said, all the atoms tend to have 8. So what will sodium do? That means the sodium should gain 7 electrons to finish its outermost energy level, which is not logic. So it is better to it to get rid of this electron, give it away, to give it away. So finally, what will happen? The sodium will be like this, only 2, then it will have only 10 electrons. Like what? Like neon. It will be like neon, which is as what you see here. What is written under neon? Noble gas. The sodium wants to be like the neon, a noble gas. Okay, another example. Let's take Mg, magnesium, 12. The same. Let's say here this was Mg. Here I will have 2. So also it's better to get rid of these 2. For the Mg to be here, to be like the neon also. Exactly like neon with 10. Okay, so here sodium and magnesium both lost electrons. The sodium lost 1, the magnesium lost 2. So they will have more protons than electrons, or we can say less electrons than protons. So they will have less negative charge, right? They lost electrons, they lost negative charge. They will have less negative charge and more positive charge because their protons will be more. Yani they lost electrons, they become with only 10 electrons, but the sodium stayed with 11 protons, which is more protons. صح? Protons are more. So the sodium becomes a positive ion. We write it like this. Also magnesium becomes a positive ion. We write it like this. Because it lost 2 electrons, it will have more 2 protons. It has 12 protons but 10 electrons. Okay, طب let's see from, let's say here, let's take chlorine, which has 17. Let's have another paper. 17. Let's draw. Here is chlor. First of all, it has 2. The second one, let's do it quickly. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. The last one, bad drawing, sorry. We'll have what? 10. The left electrons are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So as you see here, we have 3 pairs of electrons and 1 odd electron. The atom wants to have 4 pairs of electrons, doesn't want to have odd electron. So it wants to gain electron. It's better for it to gain electron, right? And it can gain this electron. From what? From the atoms that lost. Look at this. The sodium lost an electron from the outermost energy level. There was an electron that was lost. Okay, this electron can be taken by the chlorine, and it comes here. I forgot to prepare a red color, sorry, no problem. So this electron gained from what? From another atom, such as the sodium. Now, what is now our issue here to see why chlorine wants an electron? To complete its outermost energy level, to be 8. Now count, it becomes 8. And the total number of electrons becomes 18. 18 such as what? Like the argon, the noble gas, argon, 18. Now the chlorine becomes with 18 electrons, but 17 protons. Which is greater, the negative or the positive? For sure. For sure, the negative. So my charge will finish. If the negative is more, that means it will be a negative ion. So we'll write it like this. Okay? And for the combination between chlorine and sodium, we'll talk about that in the next lesson, in which we will talk about the different types of chemical reactions that include ionic reactions, like the reaction that can take place between sodium and chlorine, and covalent reaction in which we will show how the oxygen will combine with hydrogen. What is the covalent? In the covalent reaction, no one will lose, no one will gain, they will share. Also the metallic, for such elements, the metallic bond. We will study 3 types of bonds. This will be in the next lesson, inshallah, the type of the chemical bonds. So for now, so far you have to put in your mind that all the atoms to be stable, they want to be with 8 electrons in their outermost energy level, and that's why the atoms react with each other, or elements react with each other. Their atoms make bonds with each other. These bonds are made to give every atom 8 electrons in the outermost energy level. That's it. So we will see that the atoms, to do that, they will do one of 3 things: gain or lose or share the valence electrons. They will gain to complete the electrons to 8 if it is easier, such as the chlorine, as what we have seen. It has 17, so it has 7 valence electrons. It needs only 1. It's very easy to gain this one. It's okay. So it gains. To lose, such as sodium or magnesium, Sodium has 1, magnesium has 2. So it's easier to get rid of this one, to lose it. Okay, that's it. So, in between, some atoms such as carbon has 4 valence electrons, such as oxygen, it has 6 valence electrons. Okay, so they can go to another way. They can share the electrons with each other, with other atoms. We will see how. So we have to memorize now, and it's better to say to understand. They can gain, lose, or to share electrons. Okay, and here we have this example here that show us how the covalent bond, in the covalent bond, we are not going to talk about them now because they will be in the next lesson. We can see that electrons are shared, but around every atom we can see that there are 8 electrons. Don't think in the covalent now. We are going to talk about it in the next. In the ionic also, every atom will have 8. You see here to the left, it was with 11 electrons and 11 protons. This is sodium in A. Then it lost 1 electron. It becomes with 11 proton and 10 electrons, so it becomes positive ion. The lost electron, as what you see, it goes to the chlorine. The chlorine was with 17 electrons, 17 proton. It becomes with 18 electron and 17 proton, so it becomes a positive ion. As what you see here, sodium with the chlorine, they make, also here it is very clear, make NaCl, the table salt that we eat, we use for our food. Okay, this is an ionic reaction. Here also the highlight from the book, you can depend on the highlight also. Very, very important notice here the helium also, the helium and the hydrogen. Hydrogen has 1 only. It wants to complete the outermost energy to be 2. It can't have more than 2 because it has only 1 outermost energy level. Another thing I have to talk about is the group 18. Group 18 is very special group. Why? Because it includes the gases that have full outermost energy level. All the gases here, they have 8 electrons in the outermost energy level, so they don't need any reaction. They are noble gases, غازات نبيلة بالعربي. Okay, or also they have another name in Arabic, الغازات الخاملة, lazy gases. They don't need reactions. Irreactive gases. Why? Because they filled their outermost energy level. They don't need why to react. Okay, this is very, very important information, important fact. Don't forget it at all. Thank you. This is everything for this lesson. I will upload the file for the lesson review. Please do it and upload it on our platform. Don't, again and again and again, don't send me any homework on WhatsApp. It's useless. I will not open it. And we have to have your homeworks on the platform. Please upload your homeworks on the platform. Don't send me any homework via WhatsApp. Thank you very much. If there is any question related to our lesson, please send, but don't send the homework. Thank you. Have a nice day.